Oh, this one's light. This one's cherry. A little bit lighter. So this might look like a lot of scrap and slash and waste from the Kinlet 200 and making the mini Firewood, but those 4 bags that I loaded onto the pallet in the beginning and then put over in the greenhouse, this is all the waste from those 4 bags. So yes, it is a lot, but not when you consider that this little bit of waste came from 4 full bags of mini Firewood. 3 oak and 1 cherry. And so when you think about that, I don't think it's really that much waste. Now I used to just dump everything in here, and you can see like on these piles over here. So a lot of that stuff that I separated out now, that's all in like this pile over here of the honey locust. So I've kind of changed my process, and I have found it's just a lot better to have this clean wood in the bag now that I can then put into the kiln, and then from the kiln take into the fulfillment center. So it actually works out great separating that stuff out ahead of time. And yeah, it's, you know, it takes a little more time unless I have multiple hands over here running with someone loading and then 2 people sorting. But this sorting table it works great, and all the fine stuff kind of settles out through the holes. The bigger stuff you can pick out and just kind of flick back, drop it down, and then you just saw how easy cleanup was. Just bring the bucket over here and sweep it in. Now I've had people ask and have had people comment wondering if there's something that I could do with this waste. You know, they've suggested, like, you know, there's a lot of small pieces like the kindling size, and I have pulled out, and I do offer online mini kindling for getting, you know, tabletop fire pits going, or heck, for getting anything going, really, any fire. But the thing is that, you know, when you have smaller pieces like this, I mean, even just a little cardboard will get pieces like that going. So kindling really isn't something that's, I guess, really needed. I could potentially, I don't know, grind this up and make some sort of fire starter out of it. And I have thought about that, but then when I compare the cost of, because I include 2 fire starters with each box of Back 40 mini Firewood. So yes, I do have a need for fire starter. So I could take this, grind it up into like a sawdust, kind of like a paste, put it together with some wax and a wick, and I could make my own fire starters to include. But the cost of the fire starters that I use is only about like 8 to 10 cents a piece. So each box, I only have about 20 cents in cost for the fire starter. So I just don't know if I would be able to produce fire starters, create my own fire starter to include in the box for, you know, for 20 cents a piece. Like I just think I would have to have something to grind this up with. So there's an expense. I'd have to then put in, you know, my time, the wax, all that stuff. I think it would add up to be costing me more than 20 cents worth of materials and time in order to make fire starters. So nothing really else left to do with the leftover slash from the mini firewood other than, so one of the other things that I've been working on putting together here in the wood yard is over here at the end of the 37D coming off the conveyor. I ran a few rounds through a little while back just to see where these split pieces were going to fall. And I want to end up kind of like piling everything up over here instead of where I normally have been putting it. So this fall and winter I'm going to run, well, as much as I can off the 37D back here. And so I saw where those pieces were going to land. So now I am putting together, that's right, I know everyone's doing it. So I got to keep up with all the cool kids out there. I have to build myself a little firewood bunker. So there is the start of my firewood bunker coming off the conveyor of the 37D. I'm almost done. I just have to get 2 more totes over here on this side, and then I'll have kind of everything surrounded. I'm probably not going to have any totes to put on the end or underneath here, just because I don't think I will have enough totes. But I had these rubber coated steel grates that I had actually over here along the edge of the carport that I had a couple stacks of wood on. So I took those. I had one in the greenhouse. So I had 3 of them. So I put the one in the center right underneath the conveyor and then put the other 2 on the side of it. I don't know. I don't have any idea what I am anticipating this bunker or this bin to hold. I am going to, as I run more and more off of the conveyor and as I get a little pile going here, I am going to throw it into these totes to fill them up. So I will have 6, my plan is to have 6 totes kind of around the perimeter, and then in the center there, just let it pile up as high as I can get it. So I don't know how much wood this bunker is going to hold when it's all said and done. If you got a guess, leave it down in the comments. I think these grates are like a little 8.5 feet long, and they're like 3 feet wide. So that's like 9, maybe they're 9. We'll call it 9 by 9 square, and then we'll end up with 6 totes around the outside. So I'm thinking we should be able to pile it at least as high as those totes before it starts having to cone up. And then once it cones up, I don't know. Like I said, leave your guesses in the comments as far as how much wood you think this bunker will be able to hold. So I've got some rounds already bucked up laying around the wood yard. I'm going to get those collected up. I'm going to get those in here, and then we'll start splitting them up and filling that bunker up.
I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting